Morning, everybody.
This week's parsha is Parshas Re'eh, and the parsha starts off Re'eh, see. Anoichi noisi lefneichem, God is giving before you, Hayoim, today, bracha, blessing, or it could be the opposite of blessing if we don't conduct ourselves properly. The Gemara says, the Gemara talks about this in Rosh Hashanah, tractate Rosh Hashanah 26a. It
says like this, there's a law.
In Jewish law, Ein Eid Nas Dayan. A witness cannot be a judge. Meaning to say, when in times of the Jewish court, people had to come when they had a quarrel, they had a problem. They would go to the judges and they would look into the Torah. They would tell you what the law is. So what happens if this judge happened to be walking down the street and he saw the story? Now they come to court and he's there. He's like, hey, I saw the story. So I'm a judge, but I'm technically, in my own mind, on my own account, I'm also a witness. I know what happened. I don't need to hear both sides of the story. I know exactly what happened. So the law is, Ein Eid Nas Dayan. If you're a witness, you cannot be a judge. You have to step down and you could be a witness, but you can't be a judge. Why? Because to be able to be a judge, you cannot be biased. You have to be able to look at both of them and hear both of them out and see each one as an equal, that they have rights till you decide what the story is. And when you are looking at it from a perspective that you saw, there's nothing to argue about, and that's a good thing. There's nothing to argue about. I saw what I saw. It's end the story. You could tell me stories tomorrow, doesn't make a difference. I saw what I saw. You can't take it away. So there's such a strong experience that happens to a person when you see something. Nobody can tell you otherwise. Nobody can tell you otherwise in most cases. So Re'eh, the Torah is telling us, start to learn the Torah. Re'eh, see. Anoichi noisi lefneichem, what I give you today. And if you're going to start to look and pay attention to see what I gave you, what God gave you as a Torah, Hayoim, everything's going to be day. Everything's going to be light. You're going to see everything. You know, when it's day, you can see where you're going. When it's night and you're in your own house, you know even when the furniture is, you still you stumble and you hurt yourself. Why? Because you can't see clearly, even when you know what's in the room. So there is this concept that if you're able to follow and see and experience Yiddishkeit, Judaism, and Torah in this world, you start to see things. It's day, it's daylight.
Another thing that's brought down,
This is from the Kli Yakar, that based on the Talmud says like this: La'olam yira adam atzmai, a person should always see themselves as if the world is half good and half bad. Doesn't mean good or bad in the world, but it means on the scale of good deeds and not good deeds. The world right now has its own scale. Everybody, a culmination of all our actions together. There's a scale up in heaven. The right side is all the good deeds. The left side is all the not good deeds. And they're both exactly equal. Right now it's 50-50. Whatever you do, whatever your next move is, you're going to tip the scale. Now whatever it is, you do good, you're going to tip it to the good. You do bad, you're going to tip it to the bad. So a person should see himself in that situation, and the whole world is dependent on you now.
Now,
this is the same thing in
this week's parsha.
Re'eh, see, I'm giving before you Hayoim today, bracha, the blessing, klola, the opposite of a blessing. It's your choice.
What we're going to do right
Now, we're going to tip the scale, not only for ourselves, we're going to tip the scale for the whole world. So Re'eh Anoichi Noisi, see that every day we have that opportunity, and it's not just words. There's so many stories. You could see that one person did one little act of goodness and kindness, or one little act of helping somebody, a gesture, and it changed a person's life. And perhaps it changed your life later. Many, many stories like this. So this is something that it's not just on a spiritual level, that's upstairs that we do not see, but this also sometimes plays out many times on a physical level as well. So Hashem should help. We should be able to see, understand, recognize, and it should permeate us that today, when we are doing something, we're bringing down blessings for ourselves, for the world, Where we zeicha to actually tip the scale and be zeicha to the coming of Mashiach's kingdom. Amen.